This conference will now be recorded.
To order, would everyone please rise for the pledge and invocation? I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Our dear God and Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight to ask you for all your blessings and thank you for the much needed rain. I know some places got more than what they anticipated. Bless them, keep them, touch and heal them. We pray for their recovery and rebuilding. But Lord, as we go into this meeting tonight, please guide us in a godly manner, that we make the right decisions for the townspeople and the town of Biddeford. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All the council's here except for Ricky, he's out of town. Rachel, our town manager, is on vacation and she's with us on the phone. So first thing we'd like to do is review and approval of July 24th regular minutes, draft minutes. Does everybody have a chance to review the minutes? So do I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes. I sent a couple little spelling corrections.
I'll second with those spelling corrections.
We have a motion and a second for the minutes to be approved with spelling corrections. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstained, motion carries. Treasurer's report.
Yeah, so Mayor Lee and I were discussing some inconsistencies on the report. It's not just on one general fund, water fund, or sewer fund, there's several. I'd like to have a chance to sit down with Brian and get those corrected and go through those with you all at the workshop. So, trying to piece it together on that.
Good. Everyone agree with that?
Fine. Do we have to approve the minutes for we have closed session minutes from last month too?
Yes.
So don't we need to
Yeah,
make a
sorry
motion
about
to
that.
approve them? That's all
We
right.
have a motion to approve the closed session meeting for July meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the July closed session.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstained, motion carries. No other questions from Tony or council's okay with that? We'll move on. Yes, sir.
Senate is going to announce the 400,000 that we got for the for the county commissioner.
Yeah, sure. So,
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
yeah, so I did mention that in our funding meeting that we had earlier last week. But yes, the Washington County Commissioners approved another $400,000 for the replacement of our reservoir. And it is ARPA funds, so we need to make sure that we stay on top of those. So thank you.
Next guest, Fletcher's Grove HOA, Anthony Grant. Lower Sewer, sir. Come on up.
Only a minor adjustment to the title of the community, not the HOA.
Oh,
Stuff that is followed up, that we have to tell them it wasn't HOA responsibility.
okay.
And after partially stalking Mr. Drew and talking with him when he came to one of our meetings, learning things, we learned more about our pending expansion than we have through our developer in years. But as shared ahead of time, we know that with the upcoming connection to Maple Avenue, there's going to be a lot more traffic. So besides my own personal experience living off of tonight alone, I almost had my front bumper taken off by people who cut the corner. We know there'll be a white stripe, but if there'd be a dedicated left turn lane painted, as well as a dedicated right. A lot of people don't realize it's a wide enough exit on Tiger Lane to get out on J6 and the traffic that backs up will just be slightly helpful, if possible. One of the other questions that has popped up that the community did not realize, some of them long-time original owners. We don't control the stoplight, nor does the town, but somehow Flathead or the HOA does. But they're asking, and it's one that I can understand, if the town would work with the state highway to beseech them to have a dedicated left turn lane. Given the amount of traffic that comes through the night before Thanksgiving alone, it took over 10 minutes myself to exit Tiger Lane to get Allen G6 to make the left turn. It's the light, just the amount of traffic.
We'll start working on state highway now, due to the fact, they move kind of slow on request. But, I agree with you, because I know for myself going out to Wise, you do sit there for a long time and make a left turn on the.
It was working right.
It's correct, because you got people coming up from 68 from Weapons Road, and there is a lot of traffic there. That is an excellent idea.
Especially even if it was just during, as people said, rush hour alone.
We need to be there all the time. Everybody.
If we were doing it at minimum, we'd be happy. Because we know there's another, at the moment, we're just under 200 homes, there's not another 100 and something. I think we would have another one because they got about 2 cars per person, not mentioning the school traffic that will cut through. I know myself, my daughter goes to splits, I will not have to come in and make the left if the light had faded on my left. One of the options that our community has been asking, we've got to tell them it's a town thing, we're doing a town road. The people that speed through there now, even just down the street, and they go to the dead end and they turn around. If the town is willing to look into options such as speed bumps or cameras, we are happy to entertain them, even though the camera would be, we own anything with a sidewalk, HOA as a whole. We happily put up space to house something if required.
You can't do speed cameras except in school zones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there speed limit signs out there on that street?
We can't do speed cameras and speed bumps.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
And I don't think we're gonna be within.
Direct.
But
Yeah, yeah.
we have speed limit signs out there that, is there speed limit signs out there on that street?
I know there is a monument, but I don't know if there is a tiger.
Because it,
Tiger has one.
Okay.
is that,
You have a
which
resident
box
who's
out
famous
there?
for not
Yeah.
listening to it, but I don't think we have someone G6.
We'll look and see, because we have a box. You've probably seen it on Main Street every now and then, that was put up and tell you what your speed is.
Yes.
And people start slowing down, and it does slow people down.
Suppose it's the red and blue. Jarvisburg has one out for letters. Let's see if we have this available.
It's the same thing.
Same
It's the
thing.
same basic thing. We just don't have the red and blues one because
Because
it
here's
causes.
the daylights out.
And that's why we don't turn the red and blues on because it does scare people. We don't want an accident.
Even when below the speed limit, it goes off. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a-
We have a sign out there.
Yeah.
Look that up.
Ours just blinks and gets mad at
Sometimes it's better than others.
We can move that tomorrow.
And sometimes it's just people going to Vice or just to the liquor stores. They don't make the whole way down, just the way they take it. It tends to be, even for those who are walking.
And I know Greg's not a fan of speed bumps because of.
Very well. Well, they know their HOA has them in townhomes and you'll take them out everywhere, every summer.
Our townhome residents are debating on having them permanently removed. But there's still the issue of, I think, 98 townhomes that exit one little street.
Right.
But we cannot fault 1 or 2 drivers who are going to ignore everything and cause problems and expenses. It's kind of, we have to strike the right balance. That's one of the, it's been an issue since they installed them. I'm gonna skip my last bullet at the moment. There was one that popped up after seeing, Mr. Bowen did share some of the town's plans for striping the turn lanes. One thing that popped up that residents were asking, and we didn't know how quickly things would move. Thinking of the crosswalk lane, no light, but at Weiss, the crosswalk going from the side of Greenway Drive to the entrance of Weiss, given the amount of homes that are coming, the businesses that one day may happen. But a safer place once the traffic does start to ramp up, because the only sidewalk on Chase 6 is the northern side. There's nothing currently on the right, but if there could be a crosswalk at some point connecting over, even if it would be, as residents have hinted, up towards Burton, because it would put them closer to Weiss. Just something to give them, if there would be a car coming, there would be state law completely pay attention south. The only other bullet that has popped up here, and with the understanding of the way that things are structured, the townhomes are considered a parking lot in essence of the area. The townhomes that asked and an answer is not needed anytime soon. They were just curious because they do not receive maintenance like the rest of the town, such as with the blacktop or the striping or the painting of the curbs, would they have any? Would there be an adjustment in their tax rate or accommodations accordingly for the maintenance that they have to undertake? That would not be in any of the community in the county that's an HOA run. Because Green Fern is entitled to the HOA maintenance and they, the townhomes themselves contribute towards that. But other townhomes that are within municipality confines, the towns tend to maintain the program. So outside of street signs, such as the names and the stop signs, the HOA currently maintains that, and strictly, we've got it worked out almost an algorithm, but the townhomes contribute so much towards Maryland's law for the resident. Backgrounds are all together. The reserve center makeup, that they contribute so much per year to maintain the blacktop. So we just didn't know if there was something with that, because they're not getting the full benefit. Maintenance is everything else outside of storm drains. I said it would share its budget, but I was not anticipating cancer because that is a very gray area.
You know why we don't take care of those?
So the contract was written up, we have a utilities easement up there, all we take care of is the water and sewer in the townhome section itself.
They have their insurance.
They have their HOA for it. Single families, we do take care of, we take care of curb to curb, utilities.
So that's where they're, say, let's say envious, but it is kind of, well,
So
you
do
get
they
this,
have a, they're calling contract?
you have to get a contract for that.
You still there, Rachel? I think we lost her.
Here, me fitting a man.
Oh, okay. Now she's back.
They were just curious if there would be any potential exploration of the topic. They weren't opposed to, you know, the answer just came, but if there was something towards it, because outside, once the speed bumps are removed, it's pretty much, I think we have until September, we're not done until May. And we know there has been issues in the past where people say, well, trucks can't fit. Well, we have F-350s that will have no trucks. Anything Amazon, UPS, so they were just curious with the same things being said potentially.
Well, to look into that for you. That's a very good question. But that's the reason why it's because of the agreement wrote up in the beginning, when they first talked about it came to the town and they wanted to take care of their own maintenance. So that's the reason why we've let them do it all these years.
Yeah, Mr. Draper's initial intents were overall good. But as the community has developed, and
Yes.
a lot of people now have teenagers who are college age children who are driving, and they're realizing they're paying for something that,
But also any undeveloped lot, like we
Yes.
have developers who have, you know, I mean, acres sitting undeveloped, but they're also paying the town taxes.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just kind of one of the things, like that would be a whole.
but they pay taxes on it. in the-
Well, so are the
so that's
developers, you know
yeah.
what I mean, he's paying the town taxes for
Oh,
road fund and stuff that
But they're also make,
didn't develop,
but
so.
people also make potentially. what Mr. Draper
So it doesn't
hinted at,
matter, I'm just
everything.
saying, you know what I mean, like that opens up a whole rule, how to make it that. How to give a tax break for one section without giving it to everyone who has undeveloped land or not getting services. You know what I'm saying, like that becomes a whole,
I don't think they would be, I don't think
Conversation.
they're really looking for like a tax break, it's more of just something, whether it would be the snow removal, just something small.
gotcha,
That
which
it
like
would
I'm
be-
saying, that's what I'm saying,
Because it's an
again,
established road
Right.
with residents that live there versus.
Right.
being like,
but again, the agreement was written up that they would take care of it.
Well, it was written up by the developer, not the
Yeah.
residents.
Yeah.
For the
But-
HOA now, it was just, that was the developer, and it was looking at the documents with our covenants. That was an agreement, and told by him, that was a condition of the prior mayor, and getting everything approved, which is beyond, no one living in the community had choice. So it's just the developer checking the box to get what he wanted, and
Gotcha,
everyone else is unfortunately living with it.
got you,
So
but
we-
again, an agreement made
Agreed.
to sit there and just break it, like, it would need to be put on
Would that be amended?
agenda for a public agenda, you know what I mean? And again, the consequences aren't just those townhomes, it's
It's more than they
other
were
areas of the
asking.
town.
So
you know?
townhomes that were lived in August, they're asking.
Exactly.
The same thing applied.
I don't know, because
So that's-
there's not an agreement been made yet for that to
Understood.
be
Well,
done, yeah.
That's the question that's popped up to us, and you said that's not something we can answer.
Right, and that's
As
what.
a either as a community or even as
Yeah.
an HOA, that would be
Yeah.
something that have to all the speakers develop first, find what direction things go.
Yeah.
I understand what they're asking.
I understand
have no
too,
doubt.
kind of a weird
Because I'm-
agreement
I
that
want
we
a single
made.
family street.
Yeah, it was a weird agreement made, and I don't know the history of it. You're giving me more history than I know as to why it was made, but
Yeah, we were just told he checked off by himself, he checked, it was what he had to do to check off boxes, he did it so that he could develop, and that's kind of where we left the topic at that time, because that was not the,
and I mean, I
So that's
imagine
right.
that's semi-disclosed from the bank, right, in your town, don't they have to? be
so the bio,
published to it?
no. It's a no, it doesn't fully break down what you're paying for. So, and that's Maryland law does not require it to be itemized, it just lists that you are entering into an HOA community, and it does maintain common areas, it's left at that. Townhomes pay a different rate than I do on because I don't have the extra common area, but the maintenance of the sidewalk with the maintenance of all the blacktop that's there.
Anthony, just so you know, you're not allowed Valley View if they're the same way.
Okay, that's, I thought that's what that was.
That's a
but
Wolfville Common, that's owned by another HOA, so we don't touch or plow that or maintain the roads or anything.
I think we told them, but it was just a,
That too.
they just thought it was kind of odd. And then one of the residents previously lived in Myersville in their townhomes, and they noticed the town did it. It could also be
Yeah, I
something,
didn't know.
some municipalities will also say, we will do it, but it's gonna cost you this much.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't have those details, so that was just one of those, they were just asking if it could be mentioned, that's all.
It's the way they both were set up. I mean, we both of them wanted it that way. And so,
I can say that I shared the question.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
If something would happen, we can do something, we'll let you know, but as of right now, that agreement, it's pretty well executed.
That's fine.
I mean,
But it's
could the
hard to
town
track
put
it.
in a bid to plow the snow and maybe it would be cheaper than what you're getting plowed? If you're, right. You know, what I mean?
We don't want to get.
You don't wanna get into that,
We'd
yeah.
have to do the same for the other.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I
Usually,
I
we
get
try to
what
help
you're
out
asking.
with them. This year was a technical failure with our landscaping. Hoover has been dismal at best with maintaining our properties that are in the common areas, so we usually try to help them together.
Gotcha.
We're actually trying to get requests for proposals out in the next 30 days. The way would be snow removal with landscaping, and they typically do get lit in mind.
Gotcha, okay. I was just trying to think, you know what I mean, way to, yeah. Throw ideas out there.
So it's one of those that it's just the design that was unfortunately laid out by the developer. I know one of the developers is past all, but it's just
You know,
how it's designed. We are a little disjointed, and hopefully though, he did admit that for share, he has signed an agreement with a new builder. So as soon as everything progresses as required, he can start setting up. But we hopefully will be submitting, many community members. No one likes our tombstone at our entrance. So hopefully in the next year or so, instead of having a tombstone, we will be sharing plans for a different
oh
sign.
my gosh, they came through these so many times. Is that done in one meeting?
Yeah, I was in there at dedication.
I've seen the pictures. And nothing, it's just, it's residents feel patronized because it says thank you for visiting on that side. And the amount of money that we spent on it, and it's not even our main entrance. The main entrance will actually be the Mapleville, or Mapleville, Maple Avenue intersection. We'll be there's too much of this right now.
As far as your traffic light, we will, I'll
Ancient
we'll
visitor.
work on it. Contact state highway and get the ball rolling on see if they can get
Just
as
in
far
the
as,
process of.
it takes a while.
Yeah.
It took us 6 years to get this crosswalk up here at Schaefer Drive and Main Street, 6 years. Remember Terry, we met
Mhm.
at State
How
Highway
it was
one?
the entire time before they got the light. I know it took close to a decade,
Yes.
and that even the school did not rush them.
Yeah.
So it's completely understand.
Yeah.
When I can, when I'm asked, I can check off that, yes, we shared the request
Yeah.
and it's being taken forward.
And the striping, we'll upgrade all that striping out through there. Drew's got a fantastic plan. We want to get that ball rolling. We're at Chase 6 opens up.
One neighbor did ask about a dedicated left turn into the commercial lot off of Tiger. A lot of us kind of felt that was kind of, and it wasn't something we were overly for, but we weren't overly against. It would be a welcome if they came, but we didn't see us being, because the commercial traffic outside of the existing. The vacant lot, once it's built, will offload on the ring, so we do not.
We'll have to look at that. We're not sure where it's not with it. We'll put a left turn there. If it is,
I included it on the list as requested, but that's not one that's, I think stoplight was our bigger request overall.
I agree with you.
And then the addition of the crosswalk. Because again, as growth happens, and just people.
Well, people walk.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Do you have any other questions? I don't have any questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, presentation, we gave the agenda.
I got 15 different notes on my phone every time they message me, so. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good evening. Any other citizens' comments? Welcome. I thought you might have something for us. Okay, move on. Facility report. Public Works, great.
I'll start with tropical storm Debbie. Caused a little bit of damage in town. It wasn't that bad. We had over 6 inches of rain down at the shop. We had one tree blocked the eastbound lane by Mr. Kitchen's house, and we had to cut, take out, but we ended up taking like 4 dump truck loads of debris out of the street from it. It was just caused, there was a little bit of wind, but it was just causing all the trees to uproot right at the root ball. Get rid of them. Other than that, I mean, and then the water side, all the water line has been installed out at the post office. It's been pressure tested and back deep test came back good. It's hooked into our system. So
I heard from Cassie the other night, last Thursday, the 16th.
Okay.
But the
When
fine
it's supposed to move.
So they put the storm drain in today. We're gonna fix up the storm drain and I'll have to put the road in.
Saturday, there was a van out there doing some work, to a white van at the post office. They're getting ready to move.
And Mary Lee's supposed to be here this Thursday with all the new stripes and stuff. And the company will put them down in the parking lot and finish cleaning what she did clean. So
Me, Mary Jane.
Mary Jane, sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Mary Jane is supposed to be back on Thursday.
Did it come up? Or
Yeah,
did it?
yep. And then they got the thermoplastic put down, the new thermoplastic. They tried to paint it, and I told them no. I said, there's thermoplastic down there now, you have to put thermoplastic back. And then our sewer system, it held up pretty good. I mean, it was rocking and rolling pretty good. I called it one night, but other than that, it never really jumped the trough for having 6 inches of rain.
It came down pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions with Greg? Keith, wastewater and sewer superintendent.
On the water side, we're running pretty smooth, no problems, nothing to say I need any money for.
You just jinxed it.
Yeah, The well, we're still waiting to do the dry test. With all the rain that we've been getting, it's kind of messed that up, so we gotta wait at least for 7 days after rain for it to be dry to be able to do that test. With no more than a ½ inch, so it has to be under a ½ inch to do that test. Sewer side, we do, everything's running pretty smooth. We do got some problems with a couple little pumps and chlorine analyzer. Other than that, it's nothing real big or major, or anything that's will cost, but it's running pretty smooth. We did pretty good through the storm. We didn't have to stay there for 2 days, but around the clock till the flows come back down. We did jump up to like 69 gallons a minute coming in the land. So it's growing from 93 coming in that day. So other than that, everything runs doing pretty good. Don't need no money yet, so we're good.
Good. Good. Okay. Anybody have any questions of Keith? Did the reservoir come up any with all that rain?
It doesn't, that doesn't affect that.
Doesn't affect
it. No.
Is it still holding its own or is it still?
It's holding, but there's water still on some. Still, I mean, I'm still having to pump a lot more than usual. So we're still using water. So.
Rachel.
Alright, so as everybody knows, National Night Out was last week. And, I think that it was a big success. Vendors were happy, we spread out, we had plenty of food, film tank was a big hit, so I think overall it went pretty well, so thank you everybody who came out and helped, especially our public works guys, because, I mean, they were workhorses, Greg and everybody made sure that everything that needed to be done was done, and I really appreciated all the help with it. State grant funding for the sludge dewatering press, we finally received the 2 contract eligibility letters we were waiting on. So we can request reimbursement for $1,103,900 in expenses. We will need to submit another CEL request, but once it's approved, we can request reimbursement for the remaining $46,100. The ARC grants for the sludge water trust and the Schaefer Park well replacement are submitted to semi-annual reports for both of those awards, and I submitted the required documents for the well award. So I'm waiting to hear if they have everything they need, and if they do, we can request reimbursement for $43,349, which is what we have invoices for so far. NDE funding, Catherine and I met with NDE to discuss the applications that have been recently denied, which honestly Catherine anticipated they would be denied because she only had minimal information put in the application, so this wasn't a surprise. But for this grant, they offer a comment, like they have a couple weeks where you can submit questions and kind of get clarification on what happened. So to ensure stronger applications for the upcoming application round, which opens in December, we want to set up a time in mid-October that MRDC, the town, and any relevant engineers on the projects can meet to discuss the current applications and what's going to be needed to provide better ones in the coming year. The good news from this meeting is that our reservoir request came in very close to the funding cutoff. You guys don't know this competitive grant, so you get points, and we were really close to, like, let's say the points went up to 75, we had like 79, so we were really close to being in there. The guys that we were talking to, the funders, they said that we have a really good chance of receiving an award if we apply again next time. So, very optimistic about that. FY24 project open space funding, which was for the pickleball court. The park board decided not to convert the basketball court into a pickleball court and instead improve the court surface. And as long as there's enough funding, we want to improve the other basketball court surface and, do the lines again, just depending how much is left over. Greg had mentioned that the chains that are on the hoops are already broken again, so if we could replace those. So I'm going to attend the September Parks and Rec meeting to request approval for this change. I think there's a good chance it'll be approved, but find out. There are other EDC grants that are out there. I requested extensions for all 4 of those because we're not really on schedule with them. And I just wanted, obviously this is my first time giving the staff report for you guys, so I don't know how much or how little you're looking for, so I'd love feedback on that. But I did want to identify that in a few weeks that I've been down, one of my priorities is really going to be examine and revise where needed policies and procedures for the town. First one I'm going to start with are any policies that exist or don't exist for the committees and the commissions, just to try to improve some issues that we've had in the past. And then another one priority I've identified is retention, because as everybody knows, we've had some turnover, and I'd really like to increase employee retention for the town. It's detrimental to operations, and I mean, from what I've seen so far, we have really good employees, and I'd like to actively try to keep them. So those are just some of the things that I have going on. Did you guys have any questions or want something else.
I don't, but thank you very much, Rachel. That was a very good report, very thorough and everything.
I do have one question though. You said that, they're gonna resurface the basketball courts. So is there not gonna be a pickleball court now, or are they just moving it somewhere else?
There can't be a pickleball court with this grant because for one thing, they don't want to do it where they propose doing it. Or where, I'm a little confused as to who exactly had the idea for the project. But, they can't do the pickleball court as the basketball court because the park board does not agree with doing that. They wanted to explore doing a whole new court in a different part of the park. That's gonna cost more than twice as much funding as we have awarded. So that's not really a financially viable option for the town right now. So rather than give up the money, I gave the park board some options of things. Said we could ask to use the funds to get playground equipment, but I don't think that's the best idea because one of the reasons we were approved for this funding is because the basketball court surface is in really bad shape and it's a safety hazard. So I can almost guarantee you that the funder is going to expect us to still fix that basketball surface. And that, again, is not something that we have funds just laying around for. So, I had proposed resurfacing the basketball court and, then I found out I was bouncing ideas off of Andrew, who's the director of public works for the county. And he's the one who kind of oversees this grant opportunity. And he said that they have found where just resurfacing does not last 20 years. And that is one of the conditions of this grant award is that whatever improvements or equipment, whatever you do with funds is supposed to have a 20-year lifespan. So he said that we would need to do milling and overlay. So, depending what kind of quotes we get for that, will help us see if we could do both basketball courts or just one. I mean, honestly, at this point, we were supposed to have the funds spent last October. So we are way past the deadline. He said that it's not too late. He said we could request an extension and request a change in project scope, but it has to go through the proper channels. So I have to have all the quotes and then I have to go before the park board, which the next meeting is not until September. And then if the park board agrees with it, it has to be taken before the county commissioners for their approval. So it's just kind of a long process and he is working with us, but there's only so many things we can do. We were awarded this grant. From what I have been able to figure out, they gave us this funding because they're trying to spread pickleball across the county. And because our basketball courts were in bad shape. So we can't do a pickleball court, but we can at least fix the basketball.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
So Rachel, this is Eric. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I'm not sure who all this email went to today and whether you're checking yours on vacation, but did you all see that Dawn is leaving MRDC? Okay, did you see that, Rachel?
I don't remember seeing that. I might have just missed it.
Yeah.
I forwarded it to you just in case you didn't get it.
So anyway, just want to make sure everyone saw that.
She's still gonna be in grant writing, but different people.
Yeah.
She explains it. Just when you get a chance, read that email. If you didn't get it, send me a text and I'll resend it to you again.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing.
She works for a nonprofit.
Yeah, for a nonprofit, yeah.
Hey, Rachel, it's Tony. Outstanding job stepping up with National Night Out. That was a huge success. And I can already tell from our first funding meeting that you're going to get your head wrapped around our monies and we're going to have things rolling. I know that you've already talked about the million and the other funds that we've been looking for with those CELs. So thank you. You've jumped in and you're doing an amazing job, so we appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, good report, by the way.
Yes, excellent.
Very nice report.
Thank you.
Thank you and staff and Greg's crew for a very, very good job at National Night Out. Very successful. Had nothing but good compliments. Great job. Again, thank you and have a safe vacation. Anybody else have anything? Town planner, Drew, the floor is yours, sir.
I assume everybody received my monthly reports. There have been some movement in a number of different areas. Big thing since last month in town, we've implemented the GIS. So all that money that you paid WRA to actually GPS all your water and sewer, it's now an active map. It actually has a mobile phone app. I've been working with both Pete and Greg, and we're trying to verify that what's on those plans is right. We already found a couple of mistakes we fixed, found some other things that are in there, so we're just getting that information up to date. I got working on getting the police department road maintenance pieces, kind of tied in a little bit with Fletcher's Grove there, because on the maintenance side, we want to be able to have a map that shows everybody what state roads, what are town streets, what are private, what are alleys. Alleys are always the ones that create the problems because they're public use, but the town does not maintain them. But so we want to put together some of these things. So working with everybody to find out what kind of information are you looking for, how can they use it. But the app's pretty nice, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, you can open up the sewer map on your phone with an aerial photo and it gives you a blue dot where you're standing. So you can really go out and verify that manholes are there. They were pretty accurate. Yeah. So we did use that when we had the other big meeting that we had was on Friday with all of the stakeholders surrounding North Main Street commercial area, specifically DePetrio, and then moving forward with connecting to the town sanitary sewer system. It was a very good meeting. Basically, the BMUC realized that their decision to allow them to hook to the town sewer system may have other overriding issues that are not really the BMUC's venue. So they asked to have all the stakeholders there, the mayor and council to come, just so that everybody could understand what the issues were, how we plan on solving those. And we had a very open and very good discussion. I don't think that there's not a rock that we didn't leave unturned. Let me put it to you that way, trying to find out what's the best solution for the town. It was actually good to see the interaction and you could look at the map and everybody was on the same page. So it was very useful. Anybody else have any other questions? Yes, sir.
Handicap parking for Trinity, any movement on that?
No, but we'll get with Howard because if he's going to contact State Highway, we can ask that very question.
And then I know there was a complaint of roosters crowing, any movement on that?
On what?
Roosters in Greystone Hills explicitly.
Yes, I have been on rooster patrol.
Okay.
Does that require you to be like up at like 5 a.m.?
No, most of the time they crow all the darn time, so.
These roosters, they crew all hours.
Curious.
They don't have a built-in time clock. They crew all the time. That's in front, how many was it supposed to be, 1 or 2? Handicap.
2.
2?
I'm sorry, there's 2 on Main Street that we've asked for. There's one for the Trinity Church and we asked about moving the handicap down there. So 1 is the answer to the question.
When I call about the light, I'll post about that too. Okay. Anybody have any questions of Drew? Thank you, sir.
Any word on the demolition of the house fire?
They asked for a zoning certificate, so I would think it's moving forward. So I already provided the property owners a zoning certificate so they can apply for a building permit to renovate and do what they need to do. So yes, they're moving forward.
Thank you, Drew.
Yes, sir.
Chief?
As you got the monthly stats for July, calls for service went up 14 from 47 to 61. Motor vehicle violator contacts went up 30 from 56 to 86. On July 3rd, myself, Officer Moretti, and Marquis Huffman of NTAC were on hand for the fireworks. And on July 8th, we attended the Mayor and Town Council meeting. Officer Whittington, sitting back there, started on July 15th. We did FTO on July 24th. NTAC ended service on 7/14. On 7/29, we began revision for policy and procedure was dated back to 2015 with Chief Stanford. It is done, except for Amy finalizing. She's got the hard job. So me and Robbie went through everything, changed everything that pretty much to mimic what the county's policy and procedures are. And we'll, like I said, it's pretty much done.
It's done, I just need to make it look readable.
Yeah. And that's about it.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
If you like to introduce yourself.
My name is Rob Whittington, with the Sheriff's Department for 30 years. Just retired in July. Actually started here July 15th, before my retirement. From Clear Spring, so I love small towns. And I've known this town for many years, but not stuck down here. It's really nice. I love it.
Welcome, glad to have you. You two are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you for your help with National Night Out.
Yes. Very good job helping out National Night Out. Amy,
And your son, leave your son.
I don't have anything.
you don't have anything?
No.
You set Tiger off at 5? You did a good job. They gave you the hard job. They stuck you at 10.
That's all right. That's what I'm there for.
Mayor and council correspondent update. I would like to echo what Rachel said. I'd like to thank Rachel and the office staff, and the police department, great guys, Public Works for a fantastic job at National Night Out. It's very well attended. Nothing but good compliments. You'd be surprised. I got the task of handing out plates. You know, everybody was walking by them. And so my wife told me, she said, hand out plates. People are walking by and not having them. Be surprised how many people appreciated what we did. They wanted to know where you paid, how much it costs to eat, where we accept donations. So I'll be anxious over the next couple of weeks, see where Kim gets any donations in from people that said they like to donate to help us out for the coming years. So very, very nice. Also, I had the opportunity yesterday to attend another Eagle Scout. This time it was a female, Peyton Divins. She joined the Scouts on March 2nd of 2019, and on on August 3rd, 2024, she became an Eagle Scout. That was a short period of time for a young lady to go through what you got to go through to become a Eagle Scout. So congratulations to her. She's very excited. And if you never attended one of those, you've got to go to one. They are really, really nice to see. Very meaningful. I know it's not on the agenda, but we had Stu Maldor retire from being chairman of the BMUC. Stu was also our alternate member of the Vicksburg-Keysville Regional Water Board. So with Colin moving into, his wife's going to kill me. Because it's hard to look at it.
She said about that.
She can't
See, that's
find-
why-
can't find out.
That's why, that's why you brought her.
This is only 4 times.
And one star soon.
I like to nominate Colin as our new alternate to the Vicksburg-Keysville Water Board.
I would make the recommendation that we nominate Colin Chandler to.
So I did that. I need a motion. to do
Motion
that.
to nominate him.
And I guess I'll second it.
Yes, sir. We have a motion and a second.
Is it okay with your marriage? Are we allowed to vote?
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Thank you.
sir.
Thanks for everything.
Thanks for all your good comments.
No problem. New business. Let's do,
Other comments?
and anybody else have any? other
So,
comments?
just a couple things. National Night Out, it was a fantastic event. I want to thank the Public Works Department for all their support. I already thank Rachel, town staff, police department. I mean, everybody did a fantastic job. We had so much fun. The dunk tank, I do believe was
Sure, fun would be
huge.
the word for that.
huge success. Myself, the pastor of our church, Pastor Carl Mulbach, was in, and Merritt Lee, I think it's just like a new home. She wouldn't get out.
I've been there a lot.
She wouldn't get out. So that was really a lot of fun. So thanks everyone for that. I did have another concern from a resident. With our new trash company, J&J Trash, I think they're doing a great job. I actually used them in the last 3 weeks at my in-laws' home. I brought 2 containers in there. They're so great to work with. This person asked that can they come through Josiah Lane? Is that how you pronounce it? Josiah? Josiah, okay. To pick up trash.
So the issue that we had with Apple Valley, because the same question was asked to us,
Right.
the way that the road curves is too tight to fit a trash truck through there.
But I'm told that the J&J has smaller trucks. I don't know that to be a fact. I thought maybe if you just want to pursue.
Yeah, we can ask.
It would be helpful to those people that live back there because they have to get down to Maple Avenue. And then, of course, when the trash and recycling trucks are there, it's just congestion. It's right there in front of the schools. If you all can.
Yeah, I mean, we can ask. That's all we can do.
Yeah. You're either going to say yes or no. And then I would like to just do a little small recap, if you don't mind, on the public hearing that we had this past Friday. We did have a public hearing to get input from all the stakeholders on the sewer upgrade that we're looking to do, and the options and conversation related to the sewer capacity is all related to the auction house. The auction house owner, Mr. Petrio, did not attend the meeting or call in to the meeting, which was a little bit disappointing. We had representatives here from the Fluke property, Lakin property, ambulance company, and also from TT&K, and several members of the BMUC did attend. All the current options were discussed and questions were asked of all those in attendance. And we did get some feedback from the ambulance company. They did state that there's not an immediate plan for future development, but something in the next 10 years. Lakin property had no comment. TT&K had no comment. Fluke property just stated that they're willing to be good stewards and good neighbors. BMUC had major concerns with what we're calling this temporary forced main connection. I did voice my opinion over the bond money that we're looking to spend. And I know that we have an ongoing problem with a line out of Fletcher's Grove that has a surcharge currently. If we're talking about adding more into that line, I think we need to really pursue the avenue with that bond money with Senator Boardman to see how that money can be spent. And the bottom line, the consensus of the public discussion was to go back to the BMUC for any other further discussion and to make some type of a recommendation back to the mayor. Thank you.
Can I jump in really quick?
Yeah, Laura.
I don't think it's particularly relevant, but Mr. Petro did try calling in an hour late, so I don't mean the meeting finished in an hour, so I don't know if times are an issue for him or not, but he did try calling in and it's already over.
Okay.
And then also, we did not advertise it as a public hearing. It was more like a public discussion. So I just want that on the record because for public hearing, there's different requirements for how far in advance that's posted, you see in the paper. It was actually not a public hearing, it's just kind of a public discussion.
Okay.
Right, we call it a special meeting.
Somebody asked me.
Kim said a special meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I'll change my notes, thanks.
Special meeting, you can use it by.
I'm sorry. Myself, Mayor Long, Councilmember Kitchens, and Councilmember Hanson.
Anybody else? And then moving on to new business. Pledge to order. Change order number 2. Got that.
Do you want to take that lead?
I can. This is your last change order for this project, for the dewatering. What's that? There are no other change orders. This is a wrap up of a number of different things that happened during the project. Keep, jump in anytime you want. Let's say something incorrect. So when it comes to this, let me pull up the change order so you can see it. Okay, so your change order, total amount of the change order is $35,132.14. That's the increase in the contract. And that was made up of a number of different things. That was the snow clips on the top of the buildings. That was the sludge truck connection. That was moving those bioretention ponds so that the tractor trailers could make the turns. There's also a check valve that was put in and rerouting of the utility water line. I'm not sure about that, Pete, but you said you knew about that. So this is your final change order for the project. There are no others. The only thing that's left out there is they've got to put the final paving down. All the ground has been restored. The final paving, the punch list is the only thing that I know that's still out there. Insulation.
The connection to the wall for pump truck.
So most of it, most of it's almost done. We're just talking about punch list items right now. I can tell you, I know that Pete Jesse's been out there running it. And just to give you an order of understanding, that dewatering press has already treated 286,000 gallons of sludge. That's the equivalent of 30 to 35 loads that you hauled out before. We had to pay tailors and MES to dewater. What you're paying now, yes, you're paying that big price for the polymer. I get it. It is crazy expensive. I get it. And I know Jesse and Peter down there trying other ones, but by the same token, for the cost of a $3,000 polymer 55-gallon drum, you treated about 868,000 gallons of sewage, which would have been 35 truckloads. So it's the right, the guys doing exactly the right thing. So, I mean, yes, we want to buy the best polymer, the best price, but it is worth it. And when you look at 800, all that fun doing there, it's just a couple of piles. It's not very.
I got Tim coming again next week to do some more jar testing. He's gonna try another one that I found. Actually, Jesse looked back in and found a report that was done back in 2016 when we had the original screw press polymer done. And we had a polymer that did up to 23% solids. So I got Tim coming on next week. He's gonna do some dry tests. We're gonna see how that works with it, and then we'll try that, and that will go. That's a little cheaper than what we're getting now, but it will still a whole lot more input, in that amount of polymer that we're gonna use, so.
Did you get the electrical boxes you put in?
Yeah.
That's that.
We get, it's gonna cost us, that'll cost a whole lot more money if we have to do it. Be better off if we don't have to do it, just have an electrician come in and just leave them.
Might be cheaper to use chicken to do it, wouldn't it?
What's that?
Chicken reader to do it.
Well, I'll get you Eddie from AT Electric, he always does this good, so, he's the one that does all my work on the sewer side.
Oh, okay.
If we don't come with some too, we have to do it, I'll get a price from him and, come back to you guys what to see, but it'll be way cheaper for somebody like Jeremy to come in and do it, to have him do a change.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to change. Get us going. You need a motion to approve this.
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve this.
You're changing the contract amount. Yes, sir, you will.
So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the dewatering press change order number 2. What was the exact amount again?
35,000.
$35,132.14.
Thank you. And I had a conversation about this because this was an unexpected charge. And what I'd like to recommend is that we take out of the sewer fund that we allocated for loan payments back from the general fund, that amount that we need. There's $350,000 in FY25 budget for loan payments that the sewer fund owes the general fund. that's just a drop in the bucket, and I think we need to pay this change order and
I'll second that, if that was a motion.
yes.
And I was gonna ask you about that, the financing for this.
He knows I always ask.
Well, I was asking
And
myself.
I remembered this change order, and I didn't remember us putting it specifically in the book, so.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to do change order number 2 for $35,132.14. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carries.
I do have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
Drew, I know you have nothing to do all day, right?
Correct.
So Kathy Vesely asked me one day about the savings that the Purdue Press is achieving. And we will get points for the savings on our Sustainable Maryland, she indicated, that my opinion on it. So, and I always say, can you give me a quick back of the envelope? And that's truly what I mean. You, not today or tomorrow, but just how much are we saving, maybe for a quarter or something?
Take the number of truckloads, figure out what the cost from Taylor's is and what the charge is from MES, then you get an actual number.
We did a study on this already. We did a study back on this when we first started talking about this. They originally were saying that this, doing this press is going to cost us around 50 to 60,000 a year. And we're spending 200 grand or more a year now on it. Was.
That's the
So
whole
you're
year.
saving at least $140,000, $150,000.
Yeah, and I know we talked about that, too. I just wanted to, y'all fine tune the number somehow.
I mean, it's still a little too early to know that really. We just only run for like a month, but like you said, you can tell already that it's been a big cost effective savings on this.
Well, I'll just tell her 140,000 a year, we'll fine tune the number and go forward.
Yeah, it's at least that amount. Especially with the prices, but what's getting ready to go up for hauling even more again, so.
Oh, yeah. They didn't know about this at all. When we did it, and, this is a big deal to them. Okay. Thanks.
We have a donation request, the 9th annual South County Golf Tournament. This golf tournament benefits Micah's Backpack, and they're asking us to sponsor a hole. And the whole sponsor is
$100.
$100.
I'll make a motion that we sponsor a hole for $100 for Mike's back.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, motion carries. Okay. Anybody else have anything under new business before we go to commission reports? Hearing none, Mark Woodrick is not here. Boonesboro Utilities, Tony?
Sure. DMUC last met on July 31st, right here. Under old business, the Schaefer Park well update. We're waiting to do that last dry test, as we just heard a little while ago. Reservoir update, the draft proposal for construction management from WRA was received. The project should go out to bid next week. Washington County does have some concerns about traffic during construction, and Washington County Commissioners awarded the town of Boonesboro an additional $400,000. Crestview water pressure, State Highway did not approve the running of the water line on the bridge, so we'll now need to bore under the stream bed. Auction house new connection, DePietro has completed utility plans and was informed he needs to purchase 6 water taps and 12 sewer taps and will be responsible for the cost to install the force main connection. BMUC decided to table any further discussion until meeting with surrounding landowners and or participants. The lead service line inventory, EADS has all the information and all the supporting documents. And there's a draft copy of the letter that we'll be sending out to land residents and landowners. And that's out to the printer for a quote. Mayor and council appointment, our new chairman is Colin Schanenberger, and our assistant chairman is Eric Norris. They were introduced and welcomed at our last meeting. Under new business, we're looking to do what's called an internal water audit. BMUC has agreed that an internal audit will help with understanding the process and confirm calculations on a water loss. Under new business also, there was a concern with the reservoir and having a contingency plan in place, should we have an emergency. BMUC agrees to investigate options. It was recommended to also complete another test on the slope and the moisture content up there at the reservoir. I think it's been since like 2022. Is that? I can't remember exactly. I didn't write that down, sorry. There was also a presentation by Councilman Mr. Kitchen on residential growth policy. The draft policy was presented to the BMUC, and he's asking for comments to be returned to him by our next meeting, which is coming up in the following week. Systems reports by Public Works Huntsbury. Hydrant flushing is complete. Fox Preserve, Easter Day property has started work, and it's being managed by the town planner and himself, and no problems were stated at that time on the sewer side. Our water and sewer superintendent, Mr. Shoemaker, he said there were 2 sewer pumps that needed to be replaced and a transducer that was not working. Final grading and blacktop is being completed at the Deepwater and Press facility. And our town planner stated that the recent subdivision up at 50 St. Paul Street will be coming back to the planning commission due to a location of the water main problem. And town planner demonstrated the new GIS systems of BMUC. As I've stated, we're going to be meeting again on August the 21st next week, right here at 6 o'clock.
Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions of Tony? Hearing none, moving on to planning commission, Eric.
Yes, sir. Food report training as usual, there's one that the DMUC ties into the planning commission somewhat. The planning commission had a short agenda, but those meetings always turn into a lot of interesting discussion. As Tony just mentioned, 50 St. Paul Street up here, what the hour, they had submitted a subdivision, and it had not been signed off yet by the county, but it has now been at the county, from what I understand. So the subdividing of the ground is approved. Now, the other topic pertaining to touched on going on up there, specific to the sewer, the water is a different subject. I'll have to talk to Greg about it sometime. But the sewer, there's a manhole here, kind of runs down St. Paul, there's a manhole here, kind of comes down Lincoln. They thought there was a sewer line running all the way across there.
Here he comes. He's gonna use his new
And,
stuff.
and yeah, it's gonna show us some new stuff. So there's not. So they have to submit, the developer up there has to submit a new, what is called a utility plan for the sewer. Maybe the water too, but I gotta talk to Greg about that sometime.
So this is St. Paul Street right here.
Show us?
Yep. See how there's 2 manholes, one here and one here? They're called the terminal manhole. Road goes up on a hill like that. Triad thought that the sewer line went from this manhole to this manhole. So they basically show all the utilities connected to a sewer line that does not exist.
Right, and Triad's the engineer for the development. Right, Chris?
Yes.
So anyway, that's gonna be coming back. We'll see you, Colin.
See ya. Bye, Mrs. Collin.
So I had that noted under citizens' comments, that there was just discussion around the continuing issues with this subdivision up here. Drew's been up there, he cited them for trash and some of that sort of thing. He's been working at it ongoing. And he did meet with the property owner at just one time, according to my note here. The next thing on the agenda was concept plans, and although there were none noted on the agenda, this discussion about the McDonald's coming to town was brought up. And indeed, there was going to be a meeting after the planning and zoning commission meeting, which there was. And McDonald's has interest in coming out there down from the grocery store on the other side of the road in one of those blocks. We talked a little bit about traffic studies, that sort of thing, but the planning commission was absolutely adamant, no McDonald's or anything else until that road goes through. it's a little loophole that the agreement, all the written agreements talk about no residential buildings before the road goes through, but we really mean no nothing until the road goes through. So that was talked about, just we came up in discussion. Under improvement plans, who likes to just keep the planning and zoning commission informed of things, whether it really is under their purview or not. And two of those things, the ones sort of together, is what we've already heard about, the sewer line out here going out of town by the funeral home and then out. So Drew had mentioned it, Tony did a good recap of it. We had a public hearing. Special meeting. Colin ran out on me, but he's got some ideas. We kicked it back basically to the Utilities Commission, of which he's the chair. He's got some good ideas. He's talked to me on the phone. He's talked to Tony on the phone. We just had a meeting upstairs with the mayor, Tony, myself, and Colin. So there are some ideas. I have some notes here. So we have a couple of options out there, and that's going to be moving forward here. There was a lot of discussion about the restriping out here, as the speaker already talked about. And we had a gentleman come in, but and discuss some things, and made a few changes. Drew's probably got a picture. He's turned it back over to a traffic engineer to come up with something to present to the mayor and council. Is that accurate? Yes, it is. Okay, so there's some options out there where the road's maybe not as wide as it could have been and some of that, so.
You had asked, I pulled this up, I didn't say anything during the discussion, but the reason this is the Butcher's Grove,
Yeah.
and the reason it's not maintained is because it's in the plat that says it right there. All roads and drainage to be maintained by the private. So that's where that's coming from.
Yeah, and the gentleman also did not mention anything about McDonald's, so he probably hadn't heard that.
These were the type of things that they were looking at, some projections, is what you could put there, turn lanes, remember we talked about some of those kind of things, and we're gonna try to refine that. They're coming back with a recommendation to you all. My only suggestion would be, based on the fact that you had somebody representing the HOA, the council gets ready to make a formal decision or something, to send them an email, ask them to come and attend and hear what they want to have to say. That intersection where Weiss is, that's all yours. Those are town roads on either side, both sides. You don't have to talk to state highway about those. Once you get out to the intersection though, yes, you do. So.
Drew's very happy with this GIS product. Every time I run into him in the parking lot, he's got his phone, he's saying, here, look at this, man, look at this. It is pretty cool.
Not to interrupt, Drew, is there enough room there at that intersection for the left turn and the right turn? Didn't look like it was. Just by the way they had their two errors.
Are you talking at this intersection, Mayor?
I'm talking about this.
Over here?
Yes, right there.
There is enough, you have enough right of way that yes, you can do that.
But one of the errors was going to have to be straight too. There's going to be wide.
Do you see the green line on there?
Yes.
That is the town's right of way. You can expand the road to that block. One of the planning commission discussed is the original layout did show a straight through lane, but it showed having to construct some more of that roadway to get the geometric distances you need. So the answer to your question is no. But they looked at it originally to have the straight through lane, but those plans were going to require road building. We know that we have a lot of projects out there. Planning commission did not want to be recommending a project that was going to cost the town money. So they came up more with something like this. So you don't get the straight through, you get a straight through with a right-hand turn. Now, no one's going to be going up in that section right now anytime soon. So Weiss will. Weiss. Again, that's coming back to you all for a final decision. But the planning commission is trying to keep it strictly to just painting lines on road, no road construction. Once you get into road construction, sediment erosion control, stormwater management, the whole thing balloons and goes up to giant cost. Not perfect, but better than what's there today, because what's there today is pretty fake.
Drew, where was Anthony talking about across Burton Way? Is that what he said?
Yes, he is talking about here. See how he talked about sidewalks being on one side?
Yeah, it's only on your side.
Right, so the question I think he's asking is what's the town's intent long-term here? How do people get across the street? I don't think you cross them, but there's no place to put up the grass.
Yeah, that didn't think.
You would cross them here, which is more junk in that intersection, which I hate to do. Maybe you cross them back here.
We better start applying now to the crosswalk lights.
That's your street.
Yeah,
But that's our street,
Yeah,
so.
I was saying. Yeah.
Yep.
That just kind of gives you an idea. Those are all good questions and all good things to ask. The nice thing is you're asking about them before there's a problem. But again, planning commission is very much trying to keep their focus on only paved. If it requires a road to be built, an expansion, it's not an option that they're looking at because that's going to have budgetary implications and time.
But if we get the striping now, before it opens, at least we give people an idea.
To change their habits.
Right.
The only other things I think weren't good on the agenda, but just other discussion, I even know this in that meeting, we've already heard about the post office probably moving this week, right? Yeah. And last, the farm down here, Terry Packard, friend down here by the library, they've been approached about selling that farm and building it here. They're undecided what to do. They've offered the farm to the town to purchase. Because of course, it's going down to the sewer plant. So anyway, that's just some other discussion brought up there. So that's all I had. What did I miss, Drew?
Nothing.
Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions of Eric? Hearing none. EDC, right?
No meeting since the last report. The last meeting, the EDC was on June 26th. Next meeting is August 28th. The only thing that's developed I had to report is the food truck festival will be on the 1st, but there will be no tractor pull this year, mainly because the park board's going to have this new trail installed and they're going to have to program the tractor pull and there is an alternative site, but specifically determined it was not enough time to prepare that site, so we'll resume that next year. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions, you right? Hearing none. Environmental Commission. Eric?
We met on July the 10th. Local landscaper has been sourced for regular maintenance of the Monarch Way Station. The Economic Commission is going to be paying that. They're charging $600 for an initial cleanup of that way station and at a rate of $35 an hour, a maximum of 70. They're going to be paying $70 a month and it's paid by the Environmental Commission. The town website needs to be updated. There's 3 open commission spots right now.
And I'm not really sure the last time they looked at that, but it's been that way for quite a while.
Okay. Key City Compost has been going strong, 125 to 245 pounds per week. They wondered who is maintaining tree pruning at the library. Was it the town or the county? Apparently there's a pear tree that needs pruned. I have no clue.
We have an arborist, but there's a section of trees up there that the county planted that belongs to them. It's the ones that are like all bunched together.
Yeah, it's in,
That belongs to,
right by the crosswalk.
that belongs to the county. The rest of the trees there, we have an arborist that comes in every year.
Okay,
Or if it's hitting the mowing, my guys will get the pruners out, prune the bottom tree off.
okay. And Ray, since you're gonna cover it for me on Wednesday, if you could just let them know the county is supposed to take care of pruning, but we can, the rest. 265 people showed up at the farmer's market on a 95-degree day. Kathy Vesley purchased a surface temperature gun to monitor the parking lot surface temperature. It reached 152 degrees, and there is a concern allowing visitors to bring dogs. I advised maybe posting a sign, no dogs allowed on days when the surface temperature becomes unsafe for animals. Apparently she approached somebody that had a dog down there and they got their feathers ruffled about thinking maybe they weren't taking care of their dog, but it was too hot to have a dog on that asphalt. They're wondering about who takes care of the maintenance around the recycle bin at the community center building. Barb Buxton said there was leaves behind the, piled up behind the recycle bins.
Oh, man.
Oh, Charlie. And that's it. We meet all this working.
We blew everything off one week. The guys could have missed it.
I told
But they do get over, they go down every Friday with all the paths, the parking lots, the pavilions off. They could have, of course, they could have missed it. I mean, I'll check it out for you.
I didn't see it the other day. I put something in there.
Anybody have any questions for Terry? Thank you, Terry. What we're speaking about on the website, did you ever post on the website about people interested in serving on the Public Safety Commission? Have you ever-
I have not.
Could you do that? Because we have a person.
We don't. I talked to him the other day.
Oh, we don't?
He would like to continue talking with you before he makes any sort of decision.
Okay, good, good. Get with me, okay?
It's not me.
Not you, if you know it.
I'll sit over there for the fire department.
Okay.
I have two requests before we adjourn to make sure our lobbyist, Roger Manor, I would feel like we're due a report. Could we put that maybe on our workshop agenda? You can have it to us. And then I also think we ought to at least put the Fletcher's Grove request on the workshop agenda so that we make sure. Yeah. Answer them, talk about them, just keep them on the page of where we need to.
Okay, Kim,
Yep.
anything else to be brought before the council? Hearing none, I'd like to have a motion to go into executive session as provided under general provisions, Article 3-305B1, subsection I, to discuss the appointment, employment, assessment, promotion, discipline, promotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of employees, employees, or officials over whom it has jurisdiction.
Greg, you want to take?
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
I'll make a
Do
motion.
we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same, motion carried. Thank you.